Well, welcome back to the What on Earth podcast, where we're actually down a member this week due to scheduling conflicts. It's just me and the resident VTuber, and of course the man behind the whiteboard,
The man
which
behind
you'll
the
only see
slaughter.
if you watch it. Anyway, the first topic of this week's podcast is game industry layoffs, which I know Cryscorde.
Shut up, it's Cryscorde.
You hadn't read much on.
It's Cryscorde. Say the damn name properly.
You can't make me.
You little troll. Well, anyway, like the troll who lives under a bridge here just said, specifically EA has been laying off around 5% of the workforce, or at least they're due to. So 670 employees, I think it is. But, yeah, Ryan will know more than me because I haven't looked into it, but I'm going to look at the article now to remind myself.
Yeah, so we have mentioned that EA is sort of the target topic, but there's also quite a few other gaming and also companies that it seems to happen with. If I get the figures here, so of course there's EA, but there is also PlayStation, or I think it's just Sony in general. There's had quite a big layoff of staff, but we also have, you know, other big companies, so Twitch, Xbox, only Discord as well. Discord's laid off 17% of staff.
Damn.
Yeah. EA figure is, it says a reduction in 5%.
Yeah, 670 staff members.
Yeah, so considering how big EA is, that is. Yeah. Xbox. Xbox has lost 1,900 staff.
Well, Microsoft.
Yeah, well, Microsoft Gaming, so.
I just realised I'm going to have to mute myself on OBS and not Discord if I have to cough. So sorry for potentially deafening anyone earlier. Anyway, moving on, back to the game thing. It says the cuts
Twitch 500 workers, Unity 1,800.
The cuts will support EA's strategic priorities and growth initiatives. Yeah, their strategic priorities are making money.
Well, I also read before, I can't remember if it was specific to one company or just general, they've looked at analytics. Apparently this could actually just be, I guess, a long, inevitable, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, a result of the pandemic, still. When, you know, obviously gaming had quite a big surge, everyone was stuck at home, so the companies grew.
Oh yeah,
then
that's
when people
fair.
went back to work, the gaming companies just thought, I'm sure we'll be fine, and then there was obviously a drop.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm trying to make a career out of live streaming, because, you know, then I'll actually be supporting the gaming industry while also having a job. See, I'm the solution.
You keep telling yourself that, anyway.
But yeah, I get what you mean about, like, the pandemic causing, like, gaming companies to grow, because more people would have been stuck inside. Although the thing is, I get that going back to work would mean that people no longer play video games, but with, you know, people that were introduced to video games, you'd think at least some of them would be, like, sticking to it.
I mean, yeah, people would stick to video games, but
yeah, I mean, when I first,
there are less people at home 24/7.
Yeah, you know, there was a first time, like when the three of us first started playing video games, and we're still doing it.
That's because you stopped playing probably when you were a child, when you know you don't have work.
Yeah, I know, but like, you and Brian have actually had jobs before. Jesus, I'm calling myself out there, aren't I? An undisclosed number of people in the podcast. Shut up.
Oh, that is perfect.
Anyway,
I'm so glad you don't have very good
a certain number of people in this podcast have actually had jobs, and we're all still playing. I've been applying for a job. Shut up.
That was amazing.
Okay, we get it.
I'm sorry, this is wow, you actually did call yourself out there.
Yeah, by accident as well. Like I didn't even do it on purpose.
That is a skill.
Yeah, unfortunately, one that won't help me get a job. Anyway.
Yeah, so obviously focus on EA, but also Unity's lost a few people. I think. Do we even really need to say why Unity's lost so many at the moment?
No, I think people will know.
Or what about for the people that don't know?
Long story short, people stopped using Unity because it went from being free to having like a charge per download or something. Like if you make a game with Unity. So yeah, they kind of took a heavy blow from that. I mean, it's kind of like OBS. You know, if they started charging for that one day, everyone would stop using it.
And I remember having a conversation about this. I think it was with you, Brian. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about this. But isn't like one of the new chairmans of Unity like a former EA executive or something? And this is kind of how this whole thing started with Unity.
I was going to say that would make a whole lot of sense.
I could be wrong about that. But yeah, as you said, it's basically. I think it was a payment for every. Is it every time a game's downloaded?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That the companies will have to pay a percentage to Unity, which obviously game companies don't like doing. So a lot of them have either. Haven't some publishers stopped the sale of certain games?
I would imagine so. I haven't looked into that particular bit.
I feel like there was quite a stir with. I feel like it was Devolver Digital at the time because some of their games were Unity.
Well, I mean, a lot of people make games with Unity and release them for free because, you know, Unity used to be free. Oh, okay. The company attributed to the fee to the ongoing development of Unity runtime. The executable that players download with every game and allows games made in Unity to work at scale. Unity has not previously charged developers for any service related to Unity runtime.
Right, so it was to do with a new service on Unity.
I don't think it was a new service. I think it was. Actually, it says ongoing development, so maybe. I think it would have been a current thing, you know, that was already there if it caused so much backlash. Because if it was, you know, we've got a new extra thing that you have to pay for, then people would just be like, sound, we're just not going to pay for it. But I think it's like an obligatory charge, otherwise it wouldn't have caused as much backlash.
I mean, I'm not really an expert in Unity, but runtime feels like... Is runtime relating to some of, like, how long
people are playing
game
it for?
is played for?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Is that so? Because this sounds quite similar to, you know, I think was it one of the heads of Rockstar? They said they had a concept for charging people per hour of gameplay or something like that, wasn't it?
Oh well, of course they're gonna have something like that because they just want more money, don't they?
It was like around a bit ago, and of course everyone hated. So I'm pretty sure they were like, "Oh, it was just an idea. It was just an idea. We definitely weren't going to try and do that."
I mean, they were definitely going to try, but at least they backed out of it. Like,
yeah, they got caught out. And everyone went, "Hang on, why are you doing that?"
The only time I've ever seen, like, you know, charging for limited access, the only time where I've seen it, and I've been like, okay, fair enough, is, have you seen that game where, like, you play as a vampire and you can chat with the NPCs and, like, it uses AI to respond to whatever you say?
This is a current game, isn't it? I feel like I've seen...
It was around, like I think it came around, like, January, beginning of the year, or it could have been a bit earlier.
Yeah, I've only seen a few thumbnails on it, but I never actually watched any.
Oh, well, you get, like, 60 hours total of playtime, which might sound a bit bad, but, like, 60 hours is a fair bit, and it's apparently expensive to run the AI, so...
Yeah, because 60 hours, that's like... I'm not the best at maths. That's like just over 2 days?
That's
right? Like 2.5 days?
Yeah, that's like 20 live streams, so...
and that'll be like, yeah, solid 2.5 days of playing.
It'll probably take like maybe 3 hours max to complete the game. So that's 20 times you can play the game. Even if it's like a bit less, like closer to 15, it's still plenty of time to actually play the game. Unless you have to leave the game AFK and you forget to switch your PC off, then maybe that might screw you over a bit.
Yeah. Our friend Brian on the whiteboard here have been putting more information about this Unity runtime fee. So it's not a service, it's just the name of the fee. So as we speculated, the Unity runtime fee is based on the number of users that have installed the game. Obviously built in Unity, not just every game ever. But it only kicks in after specific revenue and installation thresholds, which will scale with the actual, I guess, the plans that are already being paid for to use Unity professionally, I assume. So, not the greatest thing I've heard, but at least if it's like a small development company, they're not gonna maybe have to pay as much.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Brian,
yeah, I guess it's still alright for indie developers then in a way, but yeah, it's still...
So Brian's just put on the whiteboard that the game is called Suck Up. That's the one I was talking about, just a bit of a tangent there. But yeah, apparently...
Oh, is this the vampire one?
Yeah. But back to Unity though, apparently the cost is going to increase, or like it has increased from January 2024. So yeah, after a project crosses 200,000 total installs and $200,000 in revenue over 12 months, then that's when the fees will start.
Yeah, so again, at least it's not straight away, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, to be fair, I can kind of understand, like, if a game made using your engine starts getting like a ton of cash, then maybe you'd want some of it, but they should have, thought about that from the start. Because, like, if it's there from the start, people know what they're getting into, but if you include it after, then that's kind of a bad precedent. I mean, it would be like with, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, while you were discussing that, I was just having a read through the articles again, just to see if I could find any concrete reasoning. Maybe some of the companies have given statements for why the cuts in staff, but the only solid one I find is just it's just still backlash from the pandemic, which is annoying because I would have thought everyone would have been able to move on by now, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, I think... Have they, like, made a statement saying it's because of the pandemic? Because you'd think that would have been sorted out, like, a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I guess it depends on the size of the projects they've been dealing with at the time.
I think it is just a case of greed. Like, I know I'm being a bit cynical here, but let's face it.
Oh no, it probably is as well.
It definitely is, because, like, it's laying off staff so you don't have to pay them. And what with, like, the rise in AI, I guarantee that, like AI artwork, for example, that's starting to get better. So they're probably just finding more and more ways to cut employees.
I was actually going to suggest then, maybe they're using AI to sort of cut down the staff in a bit, like, even maybe in the production of games. I mean, I don't know, but, obviously I'm not an expert in this field, as I feel like I say for every field, but, could you... I feel like you could definitely use an AI to, like, program code for a game if you needed to.
I mean,
obviously, like you said, that's graphics.
ChatGPT has some degree of, like, coding capabilities, so maybe that is, like, a thing.
Yeah, it feels like one that would be sort of obvious that it could do, but I don't know, really. It feels like something that definitely could be done.
Well, I mean, if someone doesn't want to have to pay an artist, they can just like load up ChatGPT or what's it called, DALL-E, and like load up.
Yeah, DALL-E.
Yeah, just put in a prompt and make their own art.
But is the art it's using for reference possibly art that already exists on the internet? Although I suppose that's a different minefield altogether to be getting into.
I guess there is like a small chance it could develop something that already exists, but like personally, I think they'd just be able to generate the art, and then if there's any kind of issue, then rather than having like a bunch of artists there making artwork, just have like one person for quality control, to like digitally touch up the art a bit, like Photoshop or Krita if there's any problems. Because we know what AI is like for problems with generating like hands and such.
Yeah, get someone with a plagiarism tracker as well.
I once saw like this artwork that someone put on a Discord server, and I think that the AI couldn't decide if they wanted the character to be wearing shoes or not, because like they were barefoot, but their feet were shaped like high heels, like they had a couple of bits sticking out of their heels.
Oh.
Yeah. So AI is not. AI art is not perfect, but I think it is gradually improving, which is both good because it's kind of interesting. You can just make whatever artwork you want, but then at the same time, it's something that can be abused to save money in companies.
Yeah, without us sounding too much like robots taking our jobs bad, as if we were born in the 80s, it definitely sounds like AI is being used in that way, at least to some degree.
I mean, I know that, that whole mindset of robots are going to take all of our jobs is kind of a bit of paranoia, but it's starting to slowly come true.
I mean, I have general paranoia about robots, but I'm pretty sure I've made that clear already to you, because I just don't like the uncanny valley side of robots. Also, Brian has just brought up a very good point. It can actually just be used alongside actual people workers.
Oh yeah, it can definitely be
support and that.
It can definitely be used by human workers, but it can also, and probably already is used to cut down on staff.
Yeah, I don't think we're at the stage where it can completely take out an entire workforce. I'd say at this point, it's definitely still just an aid.
Yeah, we're not at that point yet. But
hopefully we don't get to that point.
They need to be careful with like how like AI is used, machines and that, like not just AI. Well, I say that all machines run on AI, just different degrees, but you know what I mean. Because it's like with self-service checkouts in shops. People like me who are introverted might be more tempted to do self-checkout rather than having to talk to someone. But then at the same time,
it's quicker.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, if it's like if someone's got a bag or something, then if you're going through self-service checkout, then if there's like a lot of shopping, put some of it on the floor, hoping none of the staff are looking, potentially sneak it out. Then you've got free shopping and you've robbed from them, so they might want to avoid that.
So I'll tell you what, then, self-service machines, they need an upgrade. You put anything too light on them scales, it just doesn't think you've done anything.
Yeah.
I've bought stuff before, it's like, put it on the scale, alright?
Put it on the scale.
I just have.
Put it on the scale.
Yeah. And I mean, oh, hang on, we need a member of staff over here, there's obviously a problem. No, there isn't, you're just stupid.
The problem is the machine's too bloody old.
I've bought the cat biscuits, I've put them in the bag, you're just refusing to admit they're in there.
Yeah.
Upgrade your scales.
It's also like with Rob Beckett, though, on Mock the Week, he's made a few jokes about, like, stealing birthday cards, and between you and me, I think he's actually done it.
People have... Was it... I can't remember if it was the PS5 or the PS4. I feel like it was before the PS5.
Oh, you mean...
there was that guy that scanned a PlayStation
PS4,
as, like, fruits.
Oh, yeah, everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
It was funny, but, like... It's not a fruit. Do you reckon that when they tried calling him out for it, he just said, "It is fruit, I'll prove it," and then tried taking a big bite out of it?
Well, no, he would have been... The version I've heard is like, he would have been fine, but he went back and did it again, and that's when they caught him.
Oh, yeah.
Because the idea is, you just like...
Okay, so you can do it exactly once then. Interesting.
Yeah, because all he'd have to do is, like, tap, you know, whatever the fruit is, select which one it is, then put it on the thing, it weighs it.
Just a disclaimer, we're not encouraging stealing, by the way. We're only having a laugh.
Or are we?